Hi, everybody. I've got a special journal here today. This is for Dana. Hi, Dana. She wanted a fresh, heirloom-like recipe journal. So, let's measure it and see if I hit it. 6 by 8, and that's what she requested. The spine on it, this is humongous. Huge. Let's see, 3 1/4. I did some light stitching here. All this is made with dinner napkins. And there's the spine. It's got a muslin tie. I did a little stitching here, but this is a dinner napkin, and this is a cocktail napkin actually. And then this is a piece of fabric that I had that I thought was really kitcheny looking. Look at this puppy. Huge. I can't get over it. Look. Is that too close to the camera? I don't know. I'm going to try and keep this in frame. We're going to go inside. She wanted a fresh look. So I chose the papers that I make, those dye papers. And with the white, with the crackle on it and some script stamping. Again, this is another napkin. And I just let them overlap. You know, I just love that look. It's a real soft journal, which I like, and it helps it stay open. It makes it open wider. Plus, I left a good gap in between the signatures too, to allow for the pages to fall open. And over here, we've got a pocket with a teacup on it. And Dana, I stuck in here, I have some vintage recipe cards. Now, there's nothing on them, but you can, that's upside down. You can use them if you wish. I've got a bunch of extra cards through here. I thought you might be able to use. And they're throughout. And over here is a nice, I'm going to need one of these. Let me see. Yeah, right. Is a vintage image with a soup tureen, and it's got some sari ribbon here, but it's also a pocket. And I put a gigantic recipe card in there, but it's a pocket. So all these big pages are pockets for storage, because I know you're going to need a lot of storage. I hope this is staying in frame, because it's just huge. Over here, she had sent me some cards that she wanted added into the book. And they're on index cards, and they're vintage recipe cards. But these flip up. Because they were blank on the back, I used these here. So it's a little flip up if you want, so you can make notes if you need to, when you try the recipe, that you added this or you didn't add that or whatever, however you like. But both of them flip up. Let me take that out. They flip up. And also you can write these little tabs, and I use them throughout, like here and here. I used them throughout the book, so you could put a date, or you may want to do a group of recipe cards here, and these are so-and-so's recipes. However you want to do it. I used my heavy blue thread for stitching. It's very textured, and there are some of the papers that I like to make, and that's what I chose for the book. And a little stove here with some fabric. I left some pages that you can just write directly on, or if you have a recipe, you know, that you want to add, all you have to do is glue that puppy down. So you can use, I've got some blank pages for you with a little bit of decorating. Again, here's another one of those labels. Over here is a pocket, and I used a lot of these kind of things throughout. Definitions of food, some stitched fabric here, ruffle, little teacup pocket with, again, I use tablecloths for the pockets, and that's a little bit of seam binding there. And then some tea cards to journal on, or write a recipe on, or maybe your favorite kind of tea, or coffee or whatever. Over here, I use this fabric that matches the front. I use that throughout, and I love that look. I just think it's really pretty because the ruffles stick over the edge. So it's real nice. Over here, I did a pocket again with another label. So if you had your mom's recipes and you wanted to put them in here, you could go Mom's Recipes. You know, if I remember you telling me you didn't like your handwriting. I don't think anybody really likes their handwriting. But you could print it out on the printer and glue it down. Over here's like a little mason jar. I used several of these throughout the book, and I tied it with twine. And it's a lace pocket. And here's your ruffle with a little tomato. And this is a recipe card that I made with the matching paper. And then here's your little booklet. Just odds and end papers in it, all different sizes and shapes you may want to use for something. I'm going to try and go through this quickly because, like I said, it's huge. So a lot of these vintage ads. Another label. There's a tuck spot with some with the herbs graphic and a tag. I wanted to use those throughout. You know, I mean, you may want to keep chicken recipes here or pastry recipes or whatever. You can move everything around and organize it how you want to use it. Over here's a gigantic tag with a corrugated butterfly and the blue stitching and a recipe card. Again, this is one of these nice big pockets for you to store all your stuff. Another ruffle with some mushrooms here. Now, over here, I put in some blank index cards, like the kind that were sent to me. They're index cards. So I coffee dyed some index cards in case you needed more because these spots will hold more. So you have some extra vintage cards, coffee dyed matching index cards to work with. Another label. Just parsley here with a little charm and a safety pin. And at the end of each signature, this is where I put these. So you've got all the recipes that you sent me in here. There's several in here that look good too. Frozen lemon pie, casserole baked ham and macaroni and mushrooms. I'm in. When you fix that, call me. This is another giant tag that I sewed and stitched. I kind of wanted it to look like a canister, like that's the lid and that's the little knob that you could hold by and the little label in the front. And some more recipe cards lined back. And these are some vintage recipe cards, been heavily coffee dyed. And I put some sari ribbon going down the page on several pages. This is another gigantic pocket. You have got tons upon tons of storage in here. And in here I put a gigantic recipe card. And I sewed down the edge. You know, sometimes you just need those bigger cards for recipes. Over here is a nice ruffle. You've got some ephemera here. Hot Point electric range and lined back with the herb pocket. Another vintage recipe card. And you could put more behind here if you want. You know, I mean, these hold a good bit. Nice ruffle here with a leaf pattern. Over here is a cute little chef. I had some little chefs in my stash, and I used them here, and I thought they were so cute. A stitched card. Might have some good wine recipes that you may want to add to it. I have a sangria recipe that I make, and you know, it would be a good place to jot something like that down. Because I put fruit in it. Let's see, I use flavored vodka, and a white wine, and all kinds of fruit. Just a whole orange, a whole lemon, a whole lime, raspberries. And then I add a little club soda to it. You got to marinate it overnight in the fridge. And for the next day, for your party, it's wonderful. Here's some more of those cards, and it flips up. And this is it. All this background is spiced. Like this one's spices, so it's all food, drink, dessert, all kinds of goodies. Here's another pocket with a label. You may this pocket is pretty deep, not deep, excuse me, but it will expand out. So you may want to get a family member to write their favorite recipes, and you know, keep it in there and put so and so's recipes. Well, not so and so's. You'd use their name, but you know, you know what I mean. Over here's another pocket with the salt definition, some vintage. That's a Pyrex ad, and then a pie. And again, these will hold more. So, I mean, you can keep stuffing and keep stuffing. And these are some more of the cards that you sent. Over here, another one of the mason jar pockets with the definition of baking soda. 2 cards with desserts. Nice ruffle with some green onions. Over here's another tuck spot. It's one of my recipe cards that I made. Another gigantic pocket. Anytime you see this big, huge thing, it's a pocket. It's for you to store your papers and things. Ooh, blueberry pie. I love some blueberry pie. Oh, well, I can't keep it because I've already glued it down. But I do love some pie. Little terrines for the background here. Chocolate sauce. It says mother up here. I wonder if that was her mother's. Over here is another pocket. And this one, it will hold a lot more. And I've stuck some of the recipe cards that I have, extra recipe cards. And a vintage postcard, but I figured with the cupcake it was appropriate. Could use it for a recipe card. And over here, another tuck spot, definition of oats, with a vintage Jello ad, and another little recipe card. I like these recipe cards, and I probably got them at estate sales. I don't know if they're vintage. I don't know, but you know, they've been in somebody's collection. And I put some plain ones in there for you. You know, you could put the picture of the recipe back here and the recipe on the front. All you got to do is print out the picture with your printer, and you're computer savvy, so I know you know what to do. Over here is a double mason jar pocket with the twine. More of that fabric throughout. And here's a recipe card. A little chef on it. Another booklet. Look at him. He's so cute. Another giant pocket over here. I just love these. I mean, look how big this is. Huge. Another large tag with a chef and a large recipe card. This book is perfect for your big cards. It is just the right size. You picked a good size. It's got some stitching around it here. Secret family recipe. And here's some more of your cards that you sent me. Stuffed baked potato. Oh, I'm fixing baked potatoes tonight. I'll check that out in a minute. Over here is another little teacup with the tablecloth, the dinner napkin I used for the pocket, and some seam binding. Teacup. Card to journal on. Over here is another one of those ones that's a little canister looking with the label, and a couple of recipe cards in here. Another giant pocket. I've got so much storage in this puppy. I hope you can fill it up. I think you can, though. If you need, oh, you know what I didn't put in here, which will be a surprise. I didn't put any Louisiana recipes in here, so I have some already stitched up. I will add that to this. So those will be surprise recipes for you. Another couple, I think Dreams Etc. did these. And they're lined on the back. Definition of corn flour, another label. I wanted it all to coordinate. Because in order for something for me to look fresh and new, or not new, but fresh, like you were talking about, to me that means it needs to coordinate. So I used a lot of the same things throughout. Like the mason jars, and then the fabric and the stitching, and all that goes together. These are some older cards. This has always been a favorite graphic of mine. I guess because I love salad. And over here is another tuck spot. I think this is Dreams Etc. too. She's got a good recipe kit out. As you can tell, it's got a lot of stitching. Here's a stove, a vintage stove with some tea kettles on top, or a coffee kettle, and some fabrics. I kind of wanted that to look like a little mat up under the stove. Over here, another giant pocket. Telling you, isn't this great? Over here, another little mason jar and a label and a ruffle with a little green pepper. And some more cards to journal on. You'll write your recipes on. Or, you could even, if you didn't want to write it out, you could print it off on your computer and just use like a cream color paper and just glue it right over that. Doesn't have to be. You don't have to write it. There's other ways around that. But writing it makes it look yours. It becomes yours. When you write in it, I was telling another friend of mine, when you write in your journals, that's when they become yours. I do the decorating and make them for you, but until you actually put your touch in it, it's just a journal. When you put your touch in it, it becomes your memories. Another pocket over here with apples and the Tea Room Bakery. Some more of those old cards. You don't want that thread. Over here is the last section of these, the last of what you sent to me. Cheese ham casserole. I bet that'd be good with hamburger meat. Dill pickle. Oh, you got a recipe for dill pickles. See, I never looked at these. Whole wheat rolls. And over here is another pocket. It goes with the front, the teacup. And I stuck more recipe cards in here for you. Just duplicates of what's already in here, so it'll match. So all I have to do is add some Louisiana recipes and you are good to go. That's the back. Love it. I just love this. It's so soft and yet it's firm. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it just came out wonderful, and I think the dinner napkins is what did it. And I like the way it opens. You know, I mean, you can flip through everything comfortably. So I'm really pleased with the mechanics of this journal. And I hope you enjoy using it. I hope you put a lot of good things in here. Stay in touch with me. If you find any good recipes, let me know. Thanks, Dana. And thanks, everybody. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.